Hey there, Ladysmith and surrounding area friends. My name is Tiffany from Ladysmith Parks, Recreation, and Culture. Thank you so much for joining me today to discuss running skills for up hills. Now, if you are someone that typically plans flat routes or takes the long way around to avoid intimidating hills, you're missing a really great opportunity to develop physical and mental strength. Now, before we dive into the technique for uphill training, I just want to share with you a couple reasons why hill training is beneficial to the body. Number one, it builds leg strength. Though your whole body moves in a coordinated motion while running, your legs are symbolic to your foundation. So we always want to have a strong foundation, and on the uphill, our leg muscles contract more powerfully than usual to overcome gravity. It improves our cardiovascular fitness. So not only does it strengthen our lungs and our heart, but it also improves our VO2 max, which is our body's ability to take in oxygen and send it to the working muscles. It offers variety, and we all know that variety is the spice of life. So if we are spending a lot of time at the same grade or the same flat, our body can develop stiffness. By introducing a variety in our course, we are able to work different muscle groups and shake out any stiffness from that monotony of that same grade for your whole run. And number four, my personal favorite, it develops mental toughness. So conquering a tough hill is quite literally a metaphor for all other obstacles and challenges that you face in life. When you are willing to stare down that hilly beast and work hard at getting to the top, there is no better feeling than pride in yourself and that sensation of empowerment. And those feelings can transfer to other elements of your life. So the list of benefits for hill training is plenty, but those are just a few of my favorites that I wanted to share with you before we got into the actual technique of uphill running. So a few things to consider, and if you are just starting out with hill training, maybe just choose a couple of these to start with, just to become physically aware of your body when you're taking on hills. You want to make sure that you're really in tune with your movements and you're becoming kinesthetically aware of your body as it is moving upward. So imagine that you are running along a flat and you are in your comfortable pace, and your breathing is controlled and all the stars are aligned. And then you begin to slowly begin to incline. And as you start that uphill motion, you're going to begin to shorten your stride. It's going to feel like more effort, but you want to try to maintain the same level of effort as the flat. So you don't want to try to keep the same pace. You're going to naturally slow down, but you want to try to keep that same turnover rate with the feet and that same breathing rhythm. If you try to maintain the same pace as you're going at, you will become fatigued and you'll feel exhausted later in your run, and you may not even make it to the top. Take baby steps if you need to. With that shortened stride, we're not fully stretched out to our stride, so we're condensing everything a little bit. So if you need to take baby steps, that's another way to maintain your turnover rate or your cadence. Keeping feet low to the ground. There's really no need for big knee drives here. Try not to spend too much time on your tippy toes. Doing so can fatigue the muscles in your lower legs, so specifically your calf muscles. Your posture is really important here as well. You want to try to stay upright. Hinging forward at the hips can really create some tension in the lower back, so we want to try to keep everything stacked. If we are beginning to hinge forward or we're looking down too much, that will begin to close off our front body, and we really want to be able to stay open and tall here so that we can get oxygen into the body as well. If the hill is long or the grade gets a little bit steeper, you may choose, or it's recommended, to continue to shorten your stride to maintain that efficient breathing pattern. Once the grade begins to decrease again, then go ahead and float back into that normal extend. You might want to extend your stride a little bit more, and then as your hill begins to plateau, try to keep running right through it to fall back into that natural flat rhythm before you take any necessary rest. So what's the best way to improve on your hills? Well, you could add a specific hill workout once a week, whether that be just choosing a hilly course or doing hill repeats. So if you are a beginner, you may choose to do 3 to 5 repeats, an intermediate, maybe 5 to 8, an advanced, maybe 8 to 12 repeats. And what are the repeats? What do they look like? Well, they could be anywhere from one point up to another point, or maybe they are 30 seconds in length or 60 seconds in length. Maybe you do a little bit of play where you start at the bottom and you go up to 1 point, and then your next one is a little bit higher, and then your third one is even higher. So there's many ways to play with hill repeats. Maybe your repeats have speed incorporated into them. So for today's workout, I would actually just challenge you to pick a hill. In Ladysmith, some great hills that I like to take our clinic groups on is Dunsmuir Crescent or Christie Road. Christie Road is really long, so you may, if you're just beginner, maybe stick with Dunsmuir. But before you head out to the hills, it's really important to make sure that your body is warmed up for this type of training. So starting off with a 10 to 20 minute run, and then maybe even some dynamic stretches before you actually get into that nitty-gritty of the hill training. Okay. I feel like we've done a lot of talking, so let's take a break from the chit-chat. I'm going to go get warmed up, and I'm going to meet you out on the hill to give you a couple of visual demonstrations of some of the technique we just discussed. So I'll see you out there. Let's go get vertical. Okay. Hey gang, we are back. Myself and the fine fellow with the camera is Todd. Todd is my very handsome fella, my partner in crime in life and running. So just so everybody is aware, Todd will be out in the wild with me when we are shooting some of these adventure run walk series. So we are still abiding by all the social distancing rules because we live under the same roof. It is okay that we do these together. So we have just completed our well, it's 17 minutes, so warm-up run. Just finished a couple dynamic stretches to help complete the warm-up of the body. And what we're going to do for our hill training today is some hot laps. So we are going to do a hill climb, and then it's a loop where it's a little bit flowy. It's about 1 kilometer. So for our hill repeats today, we'll do about 3 to 5. We'll take some stops on our hill repeat just to give some more of the technical explanations of our uphill running technique. So on that note, just wanted to give you a preview. And this is Todd.
Hi guys, let's go run some hills.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be back shortly. Okay, here we are, hill number 1. You can't see our transition from flat to the incline, but what you can notice is my upright posture, which is perpendicular to the ground. Okay, I had commented earlier about keeping your legs low to the ground on inclines, as you can burn a lot of energy trying to make big, powerful knee drives. However, that's not always true on trail conditions, and this is typically where Todd usually runs. So he's accustomed to bringing his legs up a little higher to leap and bound over rocks and roots and just the really variable type of terrain compared to road. Okay, on this repeat, let's examine two things. Upper body, the arms are relaxed, although mine float a little bit wider than on trail than I would on road. For me, that's just become an unconscious response to maintaining balance on the variable terrain. And two, as my feet are about to pass here, notice my stride length is quite short. I'm on my forefoot, avoiding the tippy toes where my calves could burn out, and no heel striking. Heel striking would elicit a braking motion through the body, and you do not need any more variables against you to get up the hill. Okay, this is the final slow-mo examination of posture in our uphill technique. So the gaze is forward, not down at the ground. You'll be able to see that better in a moment. The ears are over the shoulders. From time to time, there's a smile on my face. And I'm not jutting the chin out. By doing so, you could be creating some unnecessary tension in the neck and the upper traps and that whole upper back shoulder area. The shoulders and arms are relaxed. My chest is open to help get oxygen into my body. With the chest open, that also works with the back muscles. If I were closing in or tipping forward, my back muscles would be holding on for dear life, trying to help keep me upright. Because I have the ability to still talk on my last hill repeat, that is an indication that I've been able to maintain the appropriate level of effort during this workout. If I was adding speed to my hills, talking wouldn't be an option.
Okay, friends, that concludes today's session on running skills for uphills. Thanks so much for joining me, and I really hope that you were able to get something out of today's session to help enhance your uphill run training. Remember, if you are a beginner runner, keep your hills shorter, less intervals, and maybe even less time, approximately 30 seconds to 60 seconds. If you're more advanced, feel free to do more repeats, longer hills, and dare I say 5, maybe 10 minutes long, just putting that out there. Remember, what goes up must come down. So stay tuned for a future session on running skills for downhills. Again, appreciate you joining me. We'll see you soon. Stay healthy. Wash your hands.
Let's get moving, sir.
#isolation recreation. That's my cue. See you later, guys.